Welcome back. So Fox News cameras captured this footage of Chinese nationals illegally crossing the southern border over the weekend. 90 Chinese nationals were apprehended in one day last week, according to Border Patrol. That's the most the highest number, and the most single-day encounters since 2010. Border Patrol now reporting a 920% increase in Chinese migrant apprehensions compared to a year ago. The Rio Grande Valley sector alone encountering nearly 1,700 since October. And by the way, these are the numbers that we know of. Okay, Congressman, the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee and Texas Congressman and Chairman Emeritus of the House Homeland Security Committee, Michael McCaul, is with us now to talk more about that. Congressman, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for being here this morning.
No, thanks, Marie. Thanks for having me.
You know, as I've been covering communist China over the last 8 or 10 years, I know that they have abused our visa process by getting students in here, getting students to steal intellectual property, send it back to communist China. They don't really need to enter America through the border, do they?
No, they don't. Normally, they'll infiltrate our educational system, visa process. They'll manipulate that. Espionage, they're very good at this. So I'm not quite sure why there's such an uptick crossing the border illegally, perhaps the COVID that they've had in country. But anytime you see a spike in foreign nationals other than, say, Mexico or Central America, it's of concern because we're not sure who they are. And like you said, we don't know who's gotten in that we don't know about. We do know also the terror watch list apprehensions have gone up dramatically as well. This is a clear and present danger to the United States, our national security, when we don't have control over who's coming in. And I worried when I chaired Homeland all the time about who other than Mexico were coming in, like from, say, Islamic countries or other foreign adversary nations like China.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we don't know what communist China is up to. Maybe they're directing people to come into America to set up shop for some reason for a later conflict. That's what I'm thinking about. I mean, we've talked about police stations in America, Communist Party police. Why would they need their own police force in New York? This is exactly what they have. You know, COVID-19 and the escape of the deadly virus and the cover-up. Fentanyl originating in China. And what are we doing about all of this? And is this a warning signal that the CCP is planning something in America later and has people here?
You know, it's just, again, without knowing who they are, and we don't know who a lot of these people are, it's hard to figure that out. I know they're purchasing land. In my home state of Texas, there's a bill in my state legislature to ban PRC-controlled individuals from buying property near military bases, maybe, agriculture. And so, it's really hard to tell. They're very good at what they do. They're very deceptive. You're right. This police station in New York makes no sense, to me at all. They're a foreign nation adversary. Chairman Xi's meeting with Putin now in Moscow it's been about an hour, Maria, and God knows what they're going to talk about. They found a Chinese drone was shot down in Ukraine. They're very much joined at the hip on this effort, both the Pacific and in Europe.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anything quite like it this in my lifetime, where you have a major threat to Europe and the Pacific from two major foreign dictators.
Right.
And we just had our tabletop exercise yesterday here at the retreat in Orlando on Taiwan and what would happen if, say, God forbid, China invaded Taiwan. And it's not very pretty.
Well, Mike Gallagher, the head of the China Select Committee, told me a couple of weeks ago he thinks they're going to do so next year. In 2024, because we're going to be distracted at our own election. Taiwan has an election. Do you agree with that?
I think I feel very confident that they're going to try to influence the Taiwanese election next January. And they're very good at this game. They did it in Hong Kong without a shot fired.
Right.
That'll be their first plan. If they fail at that, I do think the military invasion is very much on the table. that would start with something like a blockade and followed by a massive cyber attack on the island and the west coast of the United States, and then there an amphibious landing into Taiwan. And so Taiwan's not prepared for this. I signed off on weapons 3 years ago, Maria, that have yet to go into country.
Unbelievable.
We have no deterrence. We have no joint military exercises with Taiwan. They are incapable, unlike Ukraine, they're incapable of fighting their own war if invaded. And so the question is begged, who will help them fight? Would it be the United States, Japan, Australia, UK, the Quad? What is the plan here?
Well, have you gotten any answers as far as why you signed off on that equipment and it still has not gone to Taiwan? I mean, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken is going to testify before the House Foreign Affairs Committee this week. So I want to know what you're planning there. Chinese President Xi Jinping in Moscow this morning, you just said it. He's there for a 3-day visit, and he's going to meet with Putin in about an hour. So what are you planning in terms of the Foreign Affairs Committee hearing with Anthony Blinken?
Why is it taking so long to get weapons in country? When we sell an ally or somebody like Taiwan, our foreign military sales, and these are weapon systems they need to defend themselves. Why does it take 3 years? Why don't we have any weapon systems in country right now to provide a deterrent to Chairman Xi from invading? Because the fact is we don't. And I don't think he can answer that question other than to say our defense industrial base system is broken and we can't make these weapons, fast enough.
I mean, is the
I'm
Biden
also going to
family
ask him, why aren't they producing documents?
Is Joe Biden stopping it?
No. I mean, the fact is we can't make these weapons fast enough.
Okay.
The new ones. And I think that's part of the problem that, it's a little secret in Washington, Maria, a little well-kept secret that we cannot make our weapons fast enough to protect the United States or our allies.
Wow.
And that's just the truth.
Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. We so appreciate your leadership and time on all of this. Thank you, sir.